shoot. Hmm. What's that about?
This guy, his fan wasn't working. So when he was showing that his fan wasn't working, and he turned on the switch, and the light bulb started moving instead of the fan.
All right, I think everybody is here. Just taking attendance. Okay. All right. Today's a pretty easy day. First thing we're going to do is some review for our vocab quiz that we're going to have on Friday. So you got the words on Monday, and we made some example sentences. We are going to do a Kahoot, which I've done one virtually thus far, and it went okay. However you want to join, if you want to, like, I will share my screen so that you can see the options and everything. And then if you want to either join on a different device or open up another window and like split your screen, you can do that. Either way, the Kahoot is only the definitions, but should be some good review. Just don't forget about it. I will also post it on Canvas so that you can review it on your own. All right, I'm gonna share my screen here. I'm also gonna turn this down just a bit because it's very loud in my face. What a catchy song. All right, everybody is in. All right. Okay, irritatingly self-important or arrogant. Is that pagan, pompous, blackguard, or bombastic? couple of you chose bombastic, which you're not wrong. That's just not one of our words. I like to trip you up that way sometimes. Very nice, Victoria. Pure and innocent in thought or act, virtuous. Yearn, chaste, pious, or pompous. Ooh, only one of us got that right. I can see why those two, those of you who chose pious, I can understand why you would get those two confused because they do have kind of similar meanings, but pious is more religious. You can just be chaste without necessarily being religious. You can just be innocent. A resonant or repetitive chant, especially religious, or a repetitive series. All right, pretty good, pretty good. Kyla has the highest answer streak of 3. Concise and forcefully expressive. Pithy, chaste, adroit, or succinct. Remember which ones are our words and which ones are just normal words. Oh, only one of us got that one right. We got to remember, yeah, several people chose chaste. We already used that one. Pithy is like you have quick but concise. Like succinct would have been right. It just wasn't one of our words. Like I think the example I used was that I like Twitter because it forces you to be pithy. So you have to say a lot in only a few characters. A system of Christian or other religious belief, any kind of faith. Is that doctrine, creed, mean, or litany? Creed. Is creed. To have an intense feeling of longing for something, typically something that's been lost or separated from. Don't feel stupid. Loquate, yearn, pine, or behold. Nice. Yep, I just threw loquate in there. That's not really even a word. It's kind of like one of our words, but not. Owing thanks or having a duty to someone in return for a help or a service. Is that beholden, indebted, meaned, or abominated? I made up another word too for the answers here. Beholden. Yeah, and remember I said that it's usually said like I'm beholden to someone. It's usually got the word to after it. Deceitfulness, an act of treachery. Is that litany, piety, perfidy, or abomination? We've already used one of these words. Only one of us. Perfidy. Somebody knew it. I hope it was the person who had that word for their example, but maybe not. I don't know. Ooh, Kyle and Victoria are neck and neck. A person holding religious beliefs other than those of the main world religions. Oh, got it. Everybody got that one. That's beautiful and wonderful. Because I mentioned midsummer. Oh, I didn't even wait for that. Tending to talk a great deal, chatty, pompous, garrulous, loquacious, or obsequious. All fun words. Very nice, very nice. person's look or manner, especially one of a particular kind that indicates their character or mood. Creed, visage, mien, or, oh shoot, my thing is blocking my last blackguard. All right, about half of you got it. And that was a picture of the family from the movie of Angela's Ashes, by the way. I think we may have lost one along the way. A rude or unscrupulous person is the answer. Middle schooler, blackguard, rogue, or pervert. Again, more than one of these can be right, but only one is right and our word. Somebody picked middle schooler anyway. Very funny. The quality of being religious or reverent. Chastity, creed, abomination, or piety. It is a no. Half and half. Yeah, I kind of threw you off with chastity because it's so close to chaste. Clever, skillful in using the hands or mind. Adroit. Yep, again, about half and half there. Last one, a thing that causes disgust or hatred. Litany, perfidy, abomination, or crying babies. Abomination. Correct. Let's check out the podium here. This was a tight race. Bunny in third. Victoria, which must mean runners up, Maryland, and I didn't see it because my thing got cut. Well played, 58% correct. So about half and half. About half of you got about half of them, or you all got about half of them. Oh, congratulations. So you were Bunny. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. So I'm going to go ahead and post that actually in our Canvas AP modules. And I will post this. I'm posting this in the week of 928 module. It's like mildly confusing because I added an Angela's Ashes module, but I think we can figure it out. It's not super complicated. Angela's Ashes, vocab, Kahoots. Okay, so that's there if you guys want to do any review on your own. And I'm momentarily going to add what we're going to read today. What was I about to mention to you guys? Oh, about half of you who submitted your Santa Ana wins have grades on them so far. The other half of you don't because I'm in the process of it. And I do tend to write a good bit of feedback on essays, or at least I try to. But I did want to point out that whether you submitted your essay on Canvas or not, I'm writing feedback on the notes in Canvas, And I know that unless you have your own settings set to where it sends you an email or notifies you when you get comments, you might not know that. So, go back and check, and get some feedback on how you did on your essay. I also wanted to put the comments in Canvas rather than emailing those of you who emailed me, because hopefully we'll get into the habit of putting everything on Canvas. I know that we took a little while, not just us, but everybody, to figure out how to submit stuff on Canvas. And hopefully we're doing a little bit better with that. And I'm doing a little bit better with figuring out how to allow like the kinds of submissions that I want. So hopefully from here on out, things will be a little bit smoother with that. Although, who knows? I gave a test in my second period class that Canvas just wanted nothing to do with, and it was a big old mess, to be honest with you. And it's still kind of a big old mess because people didn't finish. So Canvas is really just kind of the bane of my existence, to be honest. Okay, so what we're doing today is just reading. We're just reading a piece that we're gonna do some work with tomorrow, and we'll continue working with it for a little bit because next week at some point we'll read another piece and we'll do some stuff comparing the two. And it is sort of a memoir piece, so it fits in with what we're doing with Angela's Ashes and with our sort of memoir unit, I guess, that we're on right now. And it is called The Myth of a Latin Woman. And I've posted it on Canvas in the Week of 928 module. It's the last thing. It is a PDF. It's not terribly, terribly long, and we haven't been in class for that long. So I think we could read it together. And that way we'll make sure that everybody is on the same page. Is it easier for you guys if you open up your own stuff or if I share my screen and do it? No opinions?
Yeah, I don't have an opinion. I could do either one.
Okay. Okay, well, if it's all the same, then I will just let you look at your own. Everybody has found what we're looking at? The Myth of the Latin Woman / Just Met a Girl Named Maria by Judith Ortiz Cofer. I'll give you all a second to get to it, and everybody can get their copy open. All right, anybody just feeling like reading today?
Is it on Canvas?
It is on Canvas, yes. It is under the 928 module, and it's the last thing. It's called Myth of a Latin Woman. All right, everybody managed to find it? Okie doke. If nobody wants to read, I'm happy to. Okay. On a bus trip to London from Oxford University, you know what? Hang on one quick second, because I just all of a sudden realized that I don't know if I'm recording today's Zoom. Yep, I am. Good for me. I forget to a lot, so. Okay, starting back over. On a bus trip to London from Oxford University, where I was earning some graduate credits one summer, a young man, obviously fresh from the pub, spotted me and, as if struck by inspiration, went down on his knees in the aisle. With both hands over his heart, he broke into an Irish tenor's rendition of Maria from West Side Story. My politely amused fellow passengers gave his lovely voice the round of gentle applause it deserved. Though I was not quite as amused, I managed my version of an English smile. No show of teeth, no extreme contortions of the facial muscles. I was at this time of my life practicing reserve and cool. Oh, that British control. How, I think it's there's supposed to be an I, and it's not really, it got cut off, how I coveted it. But Maria had followed me to London, reminding me of a prime fact of my life. You can leave the island, master the English language, and travel as far as you can. But if you are a Latina, especially one like me who so obviously belongs to Rita Moreno's gene pool, the island travels with you. And Rita Moreno, by the way, is she was in the movie West Side Story and was a Latin woman. This is sometimes a very good thing. It may win you that extra minute of someone's attention, but with some people, the same things that can make you an island, not so much a tropical paradise as an Alcatraz, a place nobody wants to visit. As a Puerto Rican girl growing up in the United States and wanting, like most children, to belong, I resented the stereotype that my Hispanic appearance called forth from many people I met. Our family lived in a large urban center in New Jersey during the 60s, where life was designed as a microcosm of my parents' casas on the island. We spoke in Spanish, we ate Puerto Rican food bought at the bodega, and we practiced strict Catholicism, complete with Saturday confession and Sunday Mass at a church where our parents were accommodated into a 1-hour Spanish Mass slot, performed by a Chinese priest trained as a missionary for Latin America. As a girl, I was kept under strict surveillance, since virtue and modesty were, by cultural equation, the same as family honor. As a teenager, I was instructed on how to behave as a proper señorita, but it was a conflicting message girls got, since the Puerto Rican mothers also encouraged their daughters to look and act like mature women and to dress in clothes our Anglo friends and their mothers found too mature for our age. It was and is cultural. Yet I often feel humiliated when I appeared at an American friend's party wearing a dress more suitable to a semi-formal than to a playroom birthday celebration. At Puerto Rican festivities, neither the music nor the colors we wore could be too loud. I still experience a vague sense of letdown when I'm invited to a party, and it turns out to be a marathon conversation in hushed tones rather than a fiesta with salsa, laughter, and dancing, the kind of celebration I remember from my childhood. I remember career day in our high school when teachers told us to come dressed as if for a job interview. It quickly became obvious that to the barrio girls, dressing up sometimes meant wearing ornate jewelry and clothing that would be more appropriate by mainstream standards for the company Christmas party than as daily office attire. That morning, I had agonized in front of my closet trying to figure out what a career girl would wear, because essentially, except for Mario Thomas, I think it's actually Marlo Thomas, it's not important, on TV, I had no models on which to base my decision. I knew how to dress for school. At the Catholic school I attended, we all wore uniforms. I knew how to dress for Sunday Mass, and I knew what dresses to wear for parties at my relatives' homes. Though I do not recall the precise details of my career day outfit, it must have been a composite of the above choices. But I remember a comment my friend, an Italian American, made in later years that coalesced my impressions of that day. She said that at the business school she was attending, the Puerto Rican girls always stood out for wearing everything at once. She meant, of course, too much jewelry, too many accessories. On that day at school, we were simply made the negative models by the nuns, who were themselves not credible fashion experts to any of us. But it was painfully obvious to me that to the others, in their tailored skirts and silk blouses, we must have seemed hopeless and vulgar. Though I now know that most adolescents feel out of step much of the time, I also know that for the Puerto Rican girls of my generation, that sense was intensified. The way our teachers and classmates looked at us, that day in school is just a taste of the culture clash that awaited us in the real world, where prospective employers and men on the street would often misinterpret our tight skirts and jingling bracelets as a come on. Mixed cultural signals have perpetuated certain stereotypes. For example, that of the Hispanic woman as the hot tamale or sexual firebrand. It is a one-dimensional view that the media have found easy to promote. In their special vocabulary, advisors have designated sizzling and smoldering as the adjectives of choice for describing not only the foods, but also the women of Latin America. From conversations in my house, I recall hearing about the harassment that Puerto